Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great conference and thank you for taking your time today to learn more about OpenAthens and what we are doing to help improve user experience, and particularly with the introduction of our new service MyAthens Plus. My name's James Edwards and I'm a Business Development Manager here at OpenAthens. I'm going to give you a short introduction into what OpenAthens is and how that does help with user experience, and what I mean there is your end users and them trying to access resources. And then introduce you to our new service MyAthens Plus and how that is also making another step forward into improving that user experience and helping them gain access to information in a much more seamless manner. So when I start off with OpenAthens, I like to start off with the why, the how, and the what. So, why is OpenAthens? Why did we come about with the service? And that is because we're here to remove barriers to knowledge and connect people to information. And those barriers, they could be many things. They are paywalls, they are login screens, it's clunky software. So there's lots of different sort of barriers that are stopping those users accessing content. And we would like to remove all of those where possible. How do we do that? So we do that by providing a robust and reliable gateway between subscription-based content and those who actually need to access it. And with subscription-based content, what I'm talking about here is those journals, ebooks and things like that, which will really help researchers and learners gather information that they need. So what do you end up with then what is OpenAthens? It's a single sign-on software that enables people to access digital content. And what I'm talking about single sign-on is, I mean true single sign-on. So your users, your students, your staff members, they will use a single username and password, and they will use that to access all of your library's content. And most importantly, though, they only have to log in once as well. So once they've logged in once, they won't have to log in again to that session, and they can jump between all of the different content that you offer. So here at OpenAthens, we believe that accessing subscription-based content should be fast, easy, and pain-free. As I touched on, we want people not to having to be getting those barriers and having to, curse forgotten passwords, go through that whole password reset method, and then also if they're having to use clunky software or VPNs and things which are often not very user-friendly, we want to remove all of that and make it as easy for them to access the content they need and to access that content quickly as well. And what we want to do there is then put the information in the right hands so that you as a librarian can focus on your jobs and your other tasks that need to do. You don't have to worry about that access issues. And then also as the end users, the students and the teachers, etc., they can carry on doing great things, whatever they may be. And then some of the values you can that comes to your institution with a service like OpenAthens is you get happy users, because they're not having to worry anymore about that, how they're accessing content, how do I get there, what's this screen doing, what's my username and password. That's all removed, and they're gonna have less inquiries coming to you saying, how do I access this? For them, it's a nice seamless manner, and so they're happy users. They're doing their research and they're doing it in a timely and efficient manner, because obviously there could be quite a stressful time when they're doing that sort of research, and we make it far easier and simpler for them. And that leads on to the minimal admin. So we are a fully hosted service, so there's very little to install or manage locally. There's nothing to install or manage locally, I should say. And the tools and features within OpenAthens are designed for a library. So it's a library service, so they can manage them and they can manage the account. But there's very little actually you need to do once the service is up and running on that side of things. So again, it's freeing up your time to do other tasks. You can have peace of mind knowing that OpenAthens is using the most secure methods of authentication, or the most common secure methods. So in this case here, I'm talking about SAML and federated access, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But you can have peace of mind knowing that this is a reliable system and you're using the most secure methods. It's not just using an IP or something like that. And also we can provide you with statistics and insights that you might not normally get through your reports that you might see for usage. We can actually tell what type of user is accessing which resource and things like that. So you can get that much more granular information to help you make important decisions about which resources you should be keeping, which ones are heavily used and who is using them and things like that. And essentially what I want you to get out of this is you're leaving all the difficult stuff to us. The authentication, space is quite complicated. It can be quite technical, but we handle all of that for you. You don't need to worry about how users get in there so much. We're doing that technical part. The user will just get there nice and seamlessly. So yeah, a bit about our vision then. It is to be the world's most user-friendly information access management experience. And we're pretty ambitious, and because we know that the authentication landscape can be a confusing world at times, and particularly if you're an end user attempting to navigate those journal providers' websites. And so, if we're not helping to deliver library content in a way that makes sense to the end user, we quickly become irrelevant, and the quality of our end users' research is compromised. And that's, after all, things like SkyHub is a compelling resource if you're confused or lost and the thought of accessing your library content. We're trying to eradicate that to make it as easy and straightforward for the users as possible. And then a little bit on OpenAthens ourselves. We've been helping over 2,500 organizations now across the globe enable access to the hundreds of thousands of journals and databases and ebooks. And this has meant there are millions of users in every country who have logged into OpenAthens and access their library resource, even if they're halfway across the globe. It's simple, and OpenAthens can do it in the same way as if they were right there in the library itself. Then a little bit, how we're, partnering on that user experience side and what we're working with here. I don't know if you've heard of RA21, but it's, resource access for the 21st century. And, it's a joint project between NISSO and STM to help improve resource access. I'm sure we're aware, if you go to the library, the resource pages directly, sometimes it can be quite confusing for a user on how they're going to log in to access that content. And, that we're working on to improve that. It doesn't work due to, most people using IP as a method of access. Obviously, IP isn't going to work in that sense. And so, they've come to the understanding that we need to move away from a system that's heavily reliant upon IP address. And that takes us on to seamless access. So if you have a chance to look at it, seamless access, if you went to RA21.org, you'd see it there. And it's a new initiative that's coming around that publishers and their resource sites are going to put a nice blue button on the top which says access via institution. And it's going to be similar and replicated across all those journal sites and publisher sites. So a user isn't going to have to navigate different login boxes. And with OpenAthens, we work with that so that if they're already logged in, they just click that and they will get access. They won't need to put in their credentials if they've already logged in at an earlier stage. So how is OpenAthens different from, say, just another proxy or something like that? And that is the heavy part of it, is that we are using a different sort of authentication method, and that is using a SAML handshake. And so this here is just giving you a quick overview of the difference between the two. As you can see there, with an IP, you're coming in and you're going through, say, a proxy server if you're trying to access remotely, and your users become anonymous there. It's quite a legacy technology, and it was often built as a sort of workaround once people started accessing things remotely. But IP was never designed, or a proxy wasn't really made for that remote access method. And so what OpenAthens uses as our primary option. We do also have a managed proxy as part of the service, but we will use SAML handshake or federated access to as many of those resources as we can. It's much more secure by design, so it's a far more secure method of access, and it also supports user personalization. Because your users who are trying to access the content remain unique, they are able to take the benefits of personalization on publisher sites. They can get logged into their own personal accounts at the same time as well. And then we are fully hosted and supported as a product. So again, making it far more simpler for yourselves at the library. And then just a little bit on our federation. And so OpenAthens is, as I mentioned, is a standard-based SAML and has a federation at the heart of everything we do. And it really is the core to how OpenAthens works so well. The OpenAthens Federation is a shared trust network that has been built over decades. And any library that chooses OpenAthens automatically benefits from this existing network. No more proxy configuration files for you to update or anything like that. It really does make it far simpler. OpenAthens manages all the connections in the federation. So if something needs to be updated, say a security certificate from Science Direct, then we're able to work with the provider to have that work completed with the minimal amount of impact. A single change is made centrally in the federation, and all the other federation members benefit, rather than each library managing their own connections and fixing things independently. We do the fixing, and it's just pushed out to everybody else. So making it far simpler and far less downtime to resources and anything like that. That's a brief introduction to sort of the OpenAthens and the Federation. If you'd like to know more, obviously please do contact us and we can go into more details about that. And then, just touch on that Federation bit. There are, these are the sort of publishers, the service providers, as we would call them in our OpenAthens Federation, just a handful there. But our service can also work with, parts outside the service, but or library services as well, if you like. So if you've got a virtual learning environment or your library services platforms, such as Folio or Alma, we can work with all of that. So we can, bring single sign-on into those services as well. So removing more needs for usernames and passwords, removing extra login screens, and keeping that real nice seamless access across all the library services. So that's how some aspects there where we're improving user experience by making it much more seamless access. Another point I did want to bring out is our new MyAthens Plus, which is also helping to support open access as well. So what is what is MyAthens? MyAthens Plus is what we like to say is the starting point for research. So we have done a complete user-focused redesign with the key priority throughout being how we can provide the best user experience for learners and researchers, as well as OpenAthens administrators. We know that too often today you need to maintain resources in lots of different locations and need to be the master in user experience to get your students, your users to engage with your content. And so what MyAthens Plus aims to address is these issues for a simple and easy to use product that cuts down on setup and maintenance. And all of this is with the aim of turning MyAthens Plus into a true starting point for research and a key part of helping learners and researchers to achieve great things that they do every day. And so, just from what you see here and in the previous slide, it is a service that is, mobile friendly. So it's, automatically will adopt if someone's trying to access on their mobile, and it can, and it's obviously on any other device, it will fit in well. What we're saying, yes, this could replace your library web page, but we're also saying it doesn't have to maybe be the library web page. It can just also be just where people go to start any research they want to do. I've just delved into it a little bit more here on this part here. On this slide, I'm just giving you a quick screen grab, and you can kind of see how it's split into these different boxes. You've got discovery services, so we work with EBSCO, Google Scholar, TDNet's discovery service as well, and I'll bring on to another one called Core as well in a moment. And so you can embed these discovery services into MyAthens. You get your resources list here, and this can be curated, and you can have them into different groups and stuff like that. And then you can also have other boxes and tabs to embed video content, library hours, and things like that. And all of these tabs, these boxes, if you like, they can all just be dragged and moved around. It's very simple to manage and maintain. You don't need to be an expert in website design or anything like that to help set up this and see how it looks. And once you put these boxes, put the content you want there in place, you just click publish at the top, and that will be pushed out to all of your users. It really is a simple, time-saving, easy to use, solution to give your users that researching starting point. And then, touching onto that, I wanted to introduce you to also the core discovery service that we've now embedded also into MyAthens Plus. Now, core discovery is an option that allows you to search for open access content, which is obviously very key for a lot of institutions to allow your users to be able to search for open access content in a really simple manner. And so you could embed the core discovery onto that MyAthens page, and it'll take them to the core discovery part here, and that will search through all the open access content for something related to what they're after. And in today's world where open access content, is key. Here's just some benefits that using that core discovery service will bring to your institutions and having your users access to that content. Okay, well, thank you for taking the time today. If you do have any more questions, then please do contact me at james.edwards@openathens.net. And I hope you're enjoying the conference, and you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.